be here with me tonight. Sorry. I don't know if you're like me, but I've always had a silent secret list. A list of things that I hoped for, wanted. I don't know, I'm going to cry right now. I gotta get started. For my life, or a list of or it's a list of the way I thought things would be throughout life's different seasons. But as I've gotten older and life hasn't turned out how I thought it would, that list changed. It became a quiet, hidden list of hurts, disappointments, things that didn't turn out the way I thought they would. I don't think I'm alone in this, so maybe you can relate. Maybe you isolate in your pain or compare your life to others, like I do. Maybe you thought, well, my pain isn't as bad as hers, or no one really wants to hear this. So you silently tuck your hurts, disappointments, and regrets away. But that kind of silence does something to us. It isolates us, it weighs on us, and over time it can quietly turn into resentment and bitterness. I know that can happen and has happened to me. So what do we do with all that? Were we ever meant to carry all of these things in life alone? No, that question became very real for me in 2018. My husband died suddenly from a brain aneurysm while we were on a family trip. One moment we were together, and the next I was a widow and a single mom with 2 little boys. My whole world shattered, and I was left trying to survive something I never saw coming. I felt completely lost and devastated. In the beginning, I didn't think rising from something like that could ever be possible. How do you rise after something like that? And the truth is, while my husband passing was by far the lowest I've been, and the biggest thing I've had to rise from, there have been many other hard times. Times where I was left feeling like I had fallen into a deep pit and couldn't get out. Times where I wanted to run away or shut down and isolate. So many times of learning how to rise when life felt like it was crashing down on me again. Now don't get me wrong, there have also been beautiful things that God's given me in these years. Getting to get married again to my kind-hearted husband in 2021. Watching my sons grow and mature into amazing young men. My mom studying the Bible and becoming a Christian. New friendships. Seeing God's goodness in my life in so many ways. But there have also been long, hard seasons. Walking through ongoing grief that can come back at a sudden moment or certain times of the year that can feel overwhelming. Parenting through challenges I don't always feel equipped for, like the big emotions of teenagers, grief, and special needs. Facing health struggles of my own as I got diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called skin lupus, and even now a long season of uncertainty where my husband has been out of work. So the question for me now has become, how do you keep your faith when life doesn't turn out the way you thought it would? And what I've learned is this: God doesn't wait for us to climb out of the pit to meet us. He meets us in it. God says in Isaiah 57 verse 15, I live in a high and holy place, but I am with people who are sad and humble. I give new life to those whose hearts are broken. This shows me that God is not only high and holy, but He is also with the brokenhearted. He revives those whose hearts are crushed. And for me, rising didn't start with strength, it started with honesty. Learning to build a relationship with God where I could really be honest with Him. Not hiding the pain, but turning to Him in the midst of it. And over time, learning to let people into the really vulnerable parts of my life in the same way. Such as answering their calls, initiating, calling them, choosing to share the truth when they ask how I'm doing. Even when I feel so messy and broken, afraid that I will burden someone else or overwhelm them, it's than choosing to be honest in those moments. And here's what surprised me. Being weak and vulnerable, it didn't break me or my faith. It built it. Because in those honest places, God met me. Not after I pulled myself together or figured it all out or overcame, but right there in the middle of the pain at my weakest point. Rising for me hasn't been one big moment. It's been many small, intentional moments or choices. It's looked like choosing honesty in prayer. Rising has meant learning how to trust God enough to be vulnerable. Letting others in, sharing or calling or sending long texts to my friends here versus isolating. Asking for help again and again. Sharing the raw emotions, the unfiltered truth, and not pretending to be better when I'm not. And even now, if I'm honest, I'm still in the middle of things. There are days I still think, this isn't how my life was supposed to go. Maybe you felt that too. I believe that if I did all the right things, if I had enough faith, then life would turn out a certain way, the way that I wanted or hoped or dreamed. But faith isn't a formula for a perfect life. Faith is what holds you when life isn't perfect. A friend recently shared this with me when I told her I didn't feel inspired enough to be up here. In Proverbs 24, verse 16, though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. We rise not because life gets easier, but because God helps us get back up. So maybe rising isn't what I thought it was. Maybe it's not suddenly overcoming everything and staying up there high in the sky, but slowly, painfully, faithfully getting back up again and again. So if you're here tonight and you feel like me, somewhere in the middle, if your story feels unfinished, you don't have to hide that. You don't have to clean it up. God's not asking you to be perfect. He's inviting you to be honest. Because He's still near, still working, and still enough. I'm still in the middle, but God is still faithful. And that's enough for me to keep going. Thank you for letting me share.